Here's a head of lettuce that was thrown out in 1985. It looks a lot like lettuce that I had in my refrigerator after 2 weeks. This is a problem for people because actually that head of lettuce looks better than heads of lettuce I've had in refrigerators for 2 weeks, and that has been in a landfill for 5 years. Other kinds of materials have been there even longer and look just as fresh. This confuses a lot of people. And the reason is that they don't really understand a lot about what biodegradation is and how it has been studied in the United States. Most of the people who study biodegradation do it in laboratories. And what they will do, for example, with a newspaper, is they will grind it up so the biggest piece is about 3 millimeters in diameter. They will then put it into a test tube. They will put in enough fluid to totally saturate the paper. Then they will put in 2 times more fluid so that it's sort of in a soup. Then they shoot in the right kinds of microorganisms. They keep it under ideal temperature, and they shake it every once in a while because microorganisms don't move very much and they generate waste products. So you need to have that fluid moving to clear away the waste products for the microorganisms to continue to work. And if they do all of this, 18 weeks later, they get gray slime, the results of biodegradation. The problem is that in most landfills, adding fluids is illegal. No one grinds the garbage up. And perhaps most devastating, no one has figured out a way to pick a landfill up and shake it. Know that in the United States, there are a number of groups that have worked with attempting to make biodegradable plastic using cornstarch. And my only concern is that if microorganisms don't eat corn on the cob, I don't know how they're going to eat cornstarch out of plastics. Here's a newspaper that commemorates the opening of the very first shopping mall in Northern California. It comes from 1964. And my favorite, Future of Europe, hangs on conferences between Churchill and President. And I don't mean Clinton. What we're dealing with is January 7th, 1952. Paper is the largest single item in landfills. Paper is anywhere between 40 and 50% of the volume in landfills. I would like to say that everyone in the world immediately understood that in landfills, as we consider they should be managed today, dry landfills, that papers don't biodegrade. I think it's kind of interesting that recently there have been 2 environmental groups that have come out with credit cards that are considered to be biodegradable. It's only biodegradable if it's in a well-run compost environment where there is a very carefully controlled compost protocol going on. And they know, as well as those of us who have excavated in landfills, that biopol will not degrade in a normal landfill that is kept dry and safe. And I should mention one other thing. A lot of people ask, well, if things are not biodegrading in landfills, shouldn't we make them biodegrade in landfills? The reason that landfills like Bondurant's are lined with very heavy-duty PVC plastics, because those are the plastics that are most likely to be stable so that there won't be holes or punctures and leaks from those landfills. It is that plastic that in effect maintains the integrity of the environment by separating it from the hazardous constituents in garbage. That what we have to rely on is recycling with separate segregation and collection, and source reduction, and put the two together. Of course we have to worry about those things, and recycling. It's very important for us to learn to recycle and to source reduce and to learn to keep our consumption, I think, within very real limits.